Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Melissa and I'm always here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday, and every other Sundays. And I upload about true crime, I talk about missing children, and I also talk about important topics. So if you like any of that, go ahead and subscribe and also hit that bell so you can be notified every time I upload. So today is Friday, which means we're talking about a new missing case of a new child. I love talking about these cases. Some of these cases are not solved, or most of these cases are not solved at all. Let me rephrase that. I will let you know if it's solved, with meaning that the body was found but they still don't know who did it, or meaning that they know who did it but the body has not been found. And I think I've only talked about one case, and that was the case of Ethan. The body was found but they still don't know who did the crime. So it's kind of solved but not solved, because they still don't know who did it. Well, they think they know who did it, but you know what I mean, y'all. But today we do have a new case. I like to start my videos with poems of the day, so this one's a little bit long, so let me go ahead and read that to y'all, and then we go ahead and go straight to the case. You're the only person I wouldn't mind losing sleep for, the only person I won't get tired of talking to, and the only person that crosses my mind constantly throughout the day. You're the only person that can make me smile without trying, brighten my mood without the attention, and affect my emotion in even more you do. I can't even explain with words how much you mean to me, but you are the only person I'm scared to death of losing. I want you in my life forever. I love you. So if you have anybody that you love, you can let them hear this poem and dedicate them. A lot of people have been asking me why I do these poems. The only reason I do them is because these cases are really hard for me. They emotionally and physically, they do take drained out of me, but I like talking about them, especially the missing cases, especially when it has to do with a child. I do have a child of my own, and I plan to have another one. So just talking about these type of cases just really emotionally affect me, especially, like I said, the missing children cases, because I'm like, I go to sleep wondering, where are they? Like, where are they? Can we please, like, where are these kids? Like, I feel like I can't sleep comfortable in a warm bed, in a room, in a roof, not knowing where these kids are. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about this this new case, and we're going to be talking about William Taylor. So let's go ahead and learn about him and how he disappeared. Guys, I don't have my glasses, so I'm really trying. I'm looking down because my phone is so far from me, just because I have a headache, and I ordered some new ones, but they still haven't gotten here. So I'm just waiting for them to get here, and I hope they get here soon, because my headache is just killing me. William Taylor, born June 26, 2011, an Australian boy who disappeared at the age of 3 from Kendal, New South Wales, on September 12, 2014. He had been playing in his foster grandmother's house with his sister and wearing a Spider-Man suit at the time of his disappearance. For the first 7 years of the investigation, Tyrrell was believed to have been abducted. On September 12, 2016, a award of $1 million was offered for a recovery of Taylor, and does not require the arrest, charging, or conviction of any person or persons. On November 15, 2021, after receiving a new evidence, NCW police renewed the search for Tyler in 3 areas surrounding Kendal, assuming that they were searching for human remains. On the 17th of November 2021, Major Medity reported that Taylor's foster mother and now deceased foster grandmother were being treated as persons of interest in his disappearance. The police began investigating the possibility of a fall from a balcony on the property. Oh my God. I've heard this story in somebody else's YouTube channel. I don't remember exactly who. I'm gonna look it up to see if I heard who I heard it from, but it was from another YouTuber that she does crime as well, and that's where I got the that's how I heard the story. But when I heard the story, there was no information. They didn't know where he was. They were still looking for him. So this is all new information to me as well to y'all. On the September 11, 2014, 3-year-old William Taylor His foster parents and his 5-year-old sister traveled 4 hours from Sydney to visit his foster grandmother in Kendall. His foster grandmother's house on Brennan Drive is directly across a bush of road from the Kendall State Forest, about 35 kilometers to south of Port Macquarie. Between 10 and 10:25 on September 12th, Tyler and his sister were playing Tigers in front of in backyard, while his foster mother and foster grandmother were sitting on the back deck watching them. His foster mother went inside to make a cup of tea. She saw him jump off the back deck and go around the side of the house and became worried after she had not heard him word for 5 minutes. She went around the side of the house and she had seen him jump off but saw nothing. Shortly after, Taylor's foster father returned and began searching the streets and door-knocking neighbors. At 10:56, his foster mother phoned 000 emergency service to report him missing. The police arrived at 11:06. His foster mother's last memory was that Tyler was intimidated at Tiger Road by running towards the side of the home, and then there was a silence and he had disappeared. His foster mother looked for him but without success. And if you're not from Australia, they don't have 911 over there. They have like 00 emergency. So if you're like, what is that? Yeah, that's kind of like their 111 that is here, but over there is 000. Hundreds of police, members of state emergency service, rural fire service, and members of the community searched day and night for Tyler. So specialist police, including the sex crime and squad for strike force, became involved. Motorcycles and helicopters were brought in the search. 200 volunteers searched overnight. Hundreds of people combined rugged terrain around the home, and police drivers searched waterways and dams. The police searched every house in the state that surrounded Brendan Drive several times. The police detection dogs were brought in and they managed to detect Tyler's scent, but only within the boundaries of the backyard. Strike Force was established with a specially trained investigator from the State Crime Command who are experienced in the unexplained disappearance of young children. They support the police, other emergency service workers, and members of the public involving in the search. After 5 days, police said that they were unable to come up with any leads. The police later began investigating into finding the driver of 2 cars that were seen parked on the dead-end road in the morning Tyler disappeared. The cars described as a white station wagon and an older style gray sedan were parked between 2 driveways at the acre of land. They were seen with their driver's side windows down and were unknown in the neighborhood, where locals are friends. These cars were noticed by Tyler's mother and they have not been seen again since the time he disappeared. The police regard their particular vehicles with suspicious, as there seemed to be no logical reason why they would be parked in the street before Tyler's disappearance. Reportedly, at 9 a.m., a green or gray sedan car drove past Tyler's home while Tyler and his sister were riding bikes in the driveway. The car drove into the none-through road, did a U-turn in the neighbor's driveway, and drove out of the street. Secondly, another 4WD was sighted driving at the Burner Drive about 10:30 a.m., about the time he disappeared. The same vehicle was later seen spinning down another Kendall Street. The police said that they have known about these cars since the investigation started. However, as part of the investigating tragedy, the information about these vehicles had not released to the public until 12 months after Tyler disappeared. The police cleared Tyler's family of any involvement in the disappearance and early believed the boy was abducted by an opportunity stranger who may have had a connection with the pedophilia ring. The police also believe that the boy could be alive in the hands of a group of people suspect of pedophilia activity, but is no longer believed the kidnapper is a member of pedophilia ring. The police have interviewed dozens of people, including a number of pedophilia or current affair reporter, that about 20 registered sex offenders were living in the surrounding areas of Kendall where Tyler went missing. 2 persons of interest in the case, both convicted child sex offenders, may have made up on the day Tyler vanished. The family of one pedophilia who had 90 convictions against his name, including aggravated senseless assault of a minor, said he was going to visit another child sex offender on the day and return home drunk that afternoon. but he told police he spent the day in the bush collecting scrap metal. It was reported that both men lived in the Kendall area and had been driving vehicles that matched the description of the gray sedan and white station wagon that had been seen near the Tyler house around the time he disappeared. They also had been member of an organization called GAPA, Grandparents as Parents Again, and were friends. The pair had both been questioned by the police in the category deny being friends or having any involvement in the disappearance. Another man who repaired a washing machine at Tyler's foster home faced unrelated historical child sex charges in Victoria and was due to appear in court on July 4, 2016. The police had charged the man with multiple child sexual offenses, including various counts of indecent assault and sexual intercourse with children between 1983 and 1985 in Victoria. The man posted online videos in September 2015 denying any involvement in the Tyler disappearance and that he had been to the Tyler home on 9th and 18th September, but not to that street on the 12th, the day Tyler disappeared. It was eventually confirmed that the man had been somewhere else on the morning Tyler disappearance, and all of the charges relating to his sexual offense were dropped or dismissed. He sued the New South Wales Police for competition for reputation damage in relation to the offenses in public office, abuse of process, and malicious prosecution. More than 1,000 suspect sightings were reported to the investigation and team the 2 years after Tyler disappeared. Includes a photo taken of a man and a young boy from Queensland who looked extremely similar to Tyler. However, 24 hours later, the police received another call to confirm that the boy was not him. In early 2015, 2 passengers and a member of the New Zealand bound flight crew thought they saw Tyler on their airplane. The police met the aircraft at the airport and soon discovered it was not him. Another photo came across the police showing a young boy and a woman in a McDonald's restaurant in Central Queensland. The boy looked similar to Tyler, and the woman who was with the boy looked like his grandmother. The police later confirmed that the mother and the boy were not them. 20 days after William disappeared, a PR firm, Insight Communications, was employed on a pro bono basis by Williams Foster Cares to manage the media reporting and increasing national awareness of William illegal abduction. On September 16, 2014, Strike Force Roseanne was established to investigate Tyler's disappearance and consisting of 14 detectives and analysts working full-time to solve the case. The team will also sift through hundreds of pieces of information pouring in from the public. The ramp of investigation comes after personal appeal from Tyler's parents to a member of the state preliminary deputy premier and minister for justice as a private event in the late 2015. The family spokesperson said that they just want to reinforce the police believe he could still be alive, and then they're just asking members of the public not to give up on him. The investigation is now the state largest, involving dozens of analyzed investigations into Strike Force Roseanne, run by the Homicide Squad, and Roseanne 2, which provides an assistance from the Army, hold-up, sex crimes, and feral squads. On September 12, 2016, the second anniversary of Tyler's disappearance, and the NSW government announced $1 million reward for information on his whereabouts. The police said that the reward will usually be paid out as a conditional on the arrest and conviction of the offender, but the recovery of Tyler had been added as a condition on this reward. It is the largest ever rewarded offender to find missing persons in SW in history, and double the amount of the state previous highest standing reward of $5,000 attached to the 1999 case of murdered teenager Michael Bright. The case had led to a record number of over 208,000 calls to NCW Crime Stopper alone since Tyler disappeared. The police had interviewed more than 1,000 people in connection with the case. There have been 11,000 documents created by the police. The shirt has gone global as far as Europe and the USA Crime Stopper website, and up 26 countries to have been asked by Australian federal police to post an appeal for information about the case. The police have undefined 690 persons of interest to the to their requirement and have called in other specialist squads with the state crime committed to investigate as many such as a low prior target, so the rest are being questioned by the strike force. Rosen, the Australian, report that it's possible detectives have already interviewed the person or persons involved. In 2018, on June 12, 2018, police announced that they will undertake a large-scale forcing search and bushland around Kendall, which will last for 3 to 4 weeks and be run by search experts from the Public Order and Riot Squad. On November 15, 2021, the NSW police announced that they are received new evidence and were renewing the search for Tyler in 3 regions around the town of Kendall, this time with the suspicion that they would be finding his remains. Tyler was in foster care at the time of his disappearance, which prevent his biological parents from being named for legal reasons. The legal reasons bound by the legislation prevent them from being undefined publicly or holding any press conference for the purpose of appealing publicly about their missing son. On August 24, 2017, the New South Wales Supreme Court of Appeal ruled that Tyler's status as a foster child and the fact that he disappeared while in the state care with the foster parents was one of a limited public interest. His parents were previously allowed to speak during a 60-minute interview on the condition that they did not show their face. The father of murdered teen Daniel McCurb had criticized the NCW government refused to allow Tyler's parents to speak publicly about their son disappearance, as if it was vital in helping the general information that was then followed up by the police. They also feared that the decision may have hindered the police investigation during the critical weeks following Tyler's disappearance. But the NSW government released a statement saying its key priority is to always act in interest of the safety and well-being of a child and not in any way to jeopardize ongoing police investigation. The current status of right now, as of November 2021, despite various search efforts and forensic testing, police do not know what happened to Tyler. On June 2015, Detective Inspector Gay Sabellini commented that the investigation into the disappearance of Tyler remains a priority for the NSW police force and said that the investigation would treat the case as though he was alive until they had evidence proving otherwise. On February 20, 2016, a police spokesperson said the ongoing investigation was one of the biggest investigations being run by homicide and that they had not given up hope of finding Tyler alive. On November 15, 2021, Detective Chief Supreme Darren Burns stated that highly likely that if we found something, it would be a body. We're looking for the remains of William Tyler, no doubt about that. On April 2022, William foster care were charged. In April 22, Williams foster cares were charged with giving false or misleading information to a NSW crime commission hearing about the boys disappearing. And that is the story of poor William. I will try to my best to keep up with this case. Just because it's in Australia and it's not here, I wouldn't be able to, but I will try my best and see what happens. It's just sad. This is not the first story that I've seen of foster kids being mistreated by the foster parents. It's just really, really sad. I agree that they should have had his real parents should have come out and say something, because it probably would have helped the investigation a little bit more. But I mean, their rules, that's what they wanted to do. They thought that they would hurt the investigation. We don't know the reason why why he was in foster care, but at the end of the day, that's not the reason. We shouldn't even be worrying about the reason. We should be worrying about finding William and hope that he gets some type of justice. Like I said, I will try to keep update on the story. If I hear anything, I will just write it on the description below. If y'all from Australia, keep me updated and leave me a comment. I will see y'all.